Hi there, it's Bibi Cameron here for Knit and Tangle. Welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be sharing the process of creating this card together with coloring tools or my coloring process and also card making tips. I'm going to be using this stamp set here called Friendly Florals and this one here called Mommy, Daddy and Me. These stamp sets also come with coordinating dies and I'm going to be using some of these dies as well. In my previous video, I show you how to incorporate fabric into die cutting. Just to use it as a shim, I spread with this stick and spray adhesive, which is a temporary adhesive. I make sure that it's not super sticky and I stick this in the back of the paper so I can die cut the paper and all the die cuts are going to stay in place, or I can do several things with that. So today I want to show you another way to use this fabric shim. And first let me show you the paper I'm going to be using. This is Bristol smooth paper. It might not be so great for stamping. You need to stamp over and over to get a sharp image, but it's amazing to apply light washes of color using a water brush and water-based markers. Working on this paper with water-based markers is really easy. I have said this in every single video I made, and it's because the ink stays over the surface of the paper for longer, so you can apply different washes of colors and the inks blend so nice. So you achieve really nice results effortless. Okay, so if you saw there, I just stuck that paper on the fabric, and as I don't like to waste my beautiful paper, I'm going to try to place the dies in a way that I can get the most of the paper. Once I have this done, I run my paper, the fabric and everything on it through the die cutting machine. And once I finish, I just remove the dies and I'm going to try to die cut other shapes from the same paper. And what I want to show you here is that you can die cut that paper while it's still stuck to the fabric, and I'm not doing anything fancy here, but while the paper is still on the fabric, I can die cut the paper several times or various times, not too many because the fabric is going to start to tear, but yes, I could use the same die to die cut a whole panel and make a fun composition with basic shapes or florals. Okay, so I placed the fabric shim with the die cut paper on top, and now I'm going to place the stamps over the die cuts. I really find this way easier and quicker for me because when I stamp the paper and then I use the dies, despite I use a low tack tape over the dies just to hold them in place, they move a little bit and I ended up die cutting the lines of the images and I have to repeat the stamping, etc, etc. So I found this way very convenient for me, and that's what I'm sharing with you in this video. But of course everyone has a different way to work, and what I'm doing here, I just need to make ultra sure that I put those stamps in place, and I'm going to stamp this using antique lining distress ink because I really want to create a no line image or a seamless image. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this twice, and I'm not going to be worried about getting a perfect impression. And once I finish doing this, I just place the stamps over those die cuts I have there, and I finish stamping. Once this is done, I can remove the backing paper if I want to, but then I decided to leave it there because it's easier for coloring. So that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to use various shades of these Arteza markers. You know, when I noticed that they don't have a reference or a name there, and I really don't know how to identify the pens, but this is basically a very dark green. I'm going to use a very dark green, grays, red colors, and yellow. And I'm going to put the ink of the pens on the glass mat, and I'm going to start applying the ink with a very, very small brush. I'm using very little water and I'm not doing anything special. I'm just going with that brush over all the stamped lines, and I'm also filling the images with that color. And when I'm using these super tiny brushes to trace very narrow or slim lines like that one, I like to place this area of my hand touching the surface of the table, and then I trace the line. If I work on there like that, I won't be able to do anything. So that's one tip. And another thing I do is trying to place the paper just in front of my hand. I move the paper around to make it possible. So those are little tips also, and you will find your way to create things in easier and quicker ways as well. And all I have to do from here is to enjoy coloring. I'm going to speed the camera, play some music, and let's finish this card. So now that I've finished adding colors with the markers, I'm going to add some finishing touches with color pencils and also with microfine tip pens, because those eyes in that bear are just dots, so I cannot achieve that with a brush. And I'm going to help myself with other tools to add a little bit of definition to these images. And I'm not going to do any special thing. I'm just going to trace some lines here and there. And where I see a kind of a V shape in there, in that area, I try to add a darker color just to add very, very little definition. As I want this to look so kind of soft, with no hard lines, not many shadows, that's fine for me. And you can also get a collection of these pens. They have a microfine tip and they come from 0.1, so it's a very tiny tip, to 0.8. So this will allow you to add details, to go over the lines of a stamped image. They are an essential in my craft room. Faber-Castell has some similar ones, or any other will do the job. I love any of these microfine tip pens, and they are also lovely in different colors. The ones I use the most is dark blue or navy blue, white and black. This is the white and it's a half to half in my craft room. I cannot live without this marker. It's good to add little accents to your stamped image. And you can also splatter this on a background and it's going to create a nice white stain, or the coloration, the paper is just lovely. You can also fix the edges of a watercolor image by applying this pen all over the edge. It's going to cover any paint underneath. And you can also fix even embossed images. So if you are using white embossing powder and you get some spots in the embossing that you don't like it, you can also apply this marker there and it will make a kind of fixing there. So I really like it. Anyway, after coloring the images, I try to find a circle die that fit the image inside. So that's what I did here, and this is the one I'm going to be using. I'm going to use another fabric shim. I'm going to spray this with adhesive, and I need it very sticky. I'm going to trace the shape of that circle die in the center of my sticky fabric shim, and I'm going to arrange the die cuts in the way I want them to go on the card. If you notice, all those florals has a circular shape that is very good for this kind of windows, because I'm going to create a window on the panel, but I'm going to use the fabric shim here to place the dies, to make the arrangement of the dies as I want them to go. So this is another way to use the fabric shims as well. I'm going to speed the camera here to show you how I made this very quickly, as there is no need to show you this slowly. Once I'm happy with the arrangement, I bring another fabric shim. This is completely damaged, so I'm going to use another one. And I already sprayed this one with adhesive. This is very sticky, and I'm going to place it like so over those die cuts. Then, when I'm sure that those die cuts are stick to that fabric, I'm just going to remove the backing fabric like so. And I die cut a piece of paper with a slightly smaller die, just to make sure that this flower arrangement is going to fit perfectly on that window. I add glue at the back of those die cuts. I wait for it to dry, and then I remove the fabric shim. I previously die cut this piece of craft foam, and I'm going to stick this in the back of the panel just to give dimension. I'm going to peel the backing of this adhesive foam, which is ultra mega sticky, and I'm going to paste my bead there, and then carefully I'm going to place it on my card base. I have to be very careful, because if I go shrink, I go shrink, and I always go very shrink. So I'm going to try to do it straight. Once you glue this on your paper, it's not possible to remove that from the paper. That adhesive foam is crazy sticky. I really like this double-sided adhesive foam. It provides a beautiful finishing to your cards. It looks very luxurious, and it's quite pricey as well. But it really, well, it's not that pricey, honestly. It's like £4 for 5 sheets. So from one sheet you can get 2 cards. So it's not that pricey in general terms. But if you want to save some money, you can buy also crafty foam. I always use craft foam, average children craft foam, but I run out of the foam. I really need to buy like 100 sheets of that, because I use it for everything. So I decided that I don't want a white window in the background. I want something with color, so I just use my distress inks to add color to a circle shape. And somehow I have to find a way to put this inside that window. This is the kind of things I just think after. It was too late in the morning when I was doing this, and I didn't want to think too much. At that point, I really want to see my pretty card finish, and I want to be satisfied with it to be able to share it with you. So I decided to add more darker colors here, and then I added the glue and I stick this panel there. I also stamped a banner. I wanted a more linear banner or something more elongated, but this sentiment is so beautiful and the image is so perfect to go with this sentiment that I ended up making the card this way. And if you know me a little bit for my videos, you know that I like to share the struggle when I'm making a card, if I can call that a struggle. I change my mind several times. I add little touches here, sequins, nubo drops, little white dots and black dots. And when I saw this card, I said, this is missing something at this stage, almost 2 o'clock in the morning. So I brought the stamp set again and I stamped a couple of butterflies and I added the butterflies to this card. And choosing the colors of those butterflies was another deal because I colored them in yellow, how you see there at the side of my card, and I really didn't like them. So I stamped them again and I colored them in blue and gray, and that was better. So finally, yeah, I finished my card and this is the card for today. So I hope you like this video. I hope you like the card, and thumbs up if you like it. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel or leave a comment to let me know what would you like me to do in next videos. Your opinions are very, very important. We all work to bring ideas and inspiration only for you. Thank you very much for watching and happy crafting. Bye!